The ideology is Marxist.
I am genderqueer, transmasc, and queer.
What's transmasc?
Transmasc is like people under the non-binary umbrella identifying like or presenting masc.
Masculine?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm trans and my sexuality is unlabeled. I use he, him pronouns.
Yeah, and I use he, they pronouns.
Fluid.
Fluid. Can you explain what that means to me a little bit more?
Whatever turns you on.
Pronouns.
She, her, it. I feel like honestly, it should not be a bad thing. Like I've talked to people who go with they and them. I'm like, well, in the grammar of things, how would you want to represent yourself? It's like, I mean, I guess it, because it's like you're it.
What are we
You're
talking
it.
about?
Like it shouldn't be a bad name. It should just be owned.
Gay. Yes. Yes, I love.
Identify as he, she, her.
Oh,
The hell are we talking
she.
I guess you could call me gay. I'm homo-flexible, really. I do like some women, but mostly men.
Welcome to Loose and Reckless. I am your host, Ray. This is an episode we're going to have fun with today. This is a little segment that I call The Hell We Talking About. It's basically, I search far and wide on the internet and bring you some of the wildest stuff that I come across or things that just hit me in a wild way. And we go ahead and discuss it and talk about it. So this segment is what the hell are we talking about? Or better yet, the hell we talking about? All right. This is part one. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing this now. This is a little meme that I came across. It made a lot of sense to me. We're talking about he who dares not offend cannot be honest. This is attributed to Thomas Paine. This kind of signifies my channel. It's all about being honest, and if I offend, it is what it is. I'm not worried about offending. In this segment, I might bring people up I do have some stuff in here that family and friends have said, and we're covering it. I'm not ashamed. It is what it is. I just don't have time to argue with people on the internet. All right, here we go. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. He who dares not offend cannot be honest. Oh, this lady is righteous. This is hilarious.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that.
She said her husband just turned Republican and she don't know what he's going to do. People are crazy, man. Let's see what else she got to say.
I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way. I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course. Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys.
The hell are we talking about? The fuck? Yo. Yeah. That's going to hurt him.
Know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And
she thinks sleeping with his friends is the only way to make him feel her pain. You know, cutting the hair, that's a little bit too far because it's gonna hurt him, That's gonna hurt him. 4B, y'all taking L's left and right. This is an L. This is also a perfect example of why y'all discredit yourselves. A lot of these, especially females, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. Especially females, y'all are discrediting yourselves in a political talk when this is how y'all react. And you want us to sit back and jump on board of this shit. This is lunacy. This doesn't even make sense. Come on, man. Oh, yeah. Make sure it's the liberal friends. Make sure it's the liberal friends. Of course, it's liberal friends. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think
That just
that's the
makes
only
perfect
way.
sense.
I think sleeping with his friends will do.
She
What do you
gotta be
guys
joking.
think? His liberal friends, of course.
Gotta be joking. What should happen to adults who do this? Look at this, man. Look at this, man. Look at this, man. This baby got to be 2 or 3 years old. And he out here twerking and gyrating in a thong as a man, looking like a whole demon. Looking like a whole goddamn demon. What the fuck is he doing? Why? What purpose does this serve? You know, I'm not as mad at the guy as I am the parents who's recording this and probably thinks this shit is amusing. I mean, to each his own. Everybody want to raise their children the way they want to raise them. I think people like this that are the guy, the Dancy, the tranny, I think this transformer, you know, is suffering from the society allowing all types of nonsense and no shame. And, you know, this used to be considered a mental disorder when I was coming up. You know what I mean? 20, 30 years ago, this was a mental disorder. Now, they're trying to make it something to be celebrated. I don't even get it. I don't even understand what purpose do you get out of this? And the way he looked at the little boy, like the little boy was into this. This is a, you know, I mean, I understand circuses and clown shows, but look at this, man. Got all these fake ass titties out. It's just horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is Earth 2024. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Of cryogenic care providers can cryogenically freeze you until the Trump presidency has ended. No more crying, no more anxiety attacks, just blissful sleep until Trump is gone. When you awaken from your slumber, we'll even have a party ready and waiting for you. It will be like his presidency never even happened. It was all just a bad dream. As an added bonus, you can choose the Vance add-on package. We'll extend your sleep for an additional 4 years at a 50% discount in the event JD Vance
Why they
wins
do
the
it?
next
I'll
presidential
tell you one
election.
thing.
Everything will be okay. We're here to take
Yo.
care of you in your time of need. So remember, don't cry.
Just make them
Cry
fade
on.
off in the dust. Yo, who made this for real? Start date, January 6, 2033.
Where am I? Oh, please tell me it's over. Wait, something isn't right.
This is your captain, Elon Musk. I want to be the first one to welcome you to Mars. Sorry, Donald Trump Jr. was just elected president, and he deported all Don't Cry Cryo customers to Mars.
What the?
Mud City, Mars. Yo, that's hilarious. I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him. Conservatives, they some professional trolls, man. That's some troll shit. Next level troll shit. Next level. I am non-patriot. That was funny, dude. To the black men in Georgia, that voted for Trump, next time a cop has their knee on y'all necks, please leave us black women out of it. Somebody responded to all the black bitches who have an issue with black men and whatever we choose to do. This is how dirty coon bitches like you were feeling about black men regardless. You Miss Sanders piece of, yeah. He was kind of mad about that, huh? I think the problem with this here, you know, I see a lot of this going on in the black community right now, especially, you know, with black women. It's becoming a situation where a lot of the innermost hate is coming out. I mean, black men voted at least 75% liberal or 72% or something like that. We could do a video on it later. So for black women to be coming out at black men this way, it's really something that's deeper. I mean, I grew up hearing men ain't shit, men are dogs, and all this other stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that our women have this type of disdain in general for black men. You know, for a number of reasons, not to get into the manosphere and red pill stuff and all the other stuff, but just for a number of reasons. This is just another that they added to the list. But one thing I do say that's striking is her saying to the black men in Georgia that voted for Trump, you know, when the cops have their knee on your neck, referring to the George Floyd incident, and you know how women think that they were the saviors and black women were marching and all this other stuff. Truthfully, I never was on board with all that in the first place, because statistically, you know, I mean, when all this stuff was going on, I remember arguing with somebody back then and pulling up statistics and showing them that there was like 10 unarmed black men killed in that year out of millions and millions of stops. I mean, there's going to be evil and bad everywhere all the time. You know, if you can't realize that yet, then you're just an idiot. But the vast majority of people are out here doing their lives, living their lives, not worried about nobody, about their skin color or their race. There's some idiots out here. There's some evil motherfuckers out here. That's also why you always have to be precautionary in the way that you move. But as an epidemic, no, man. I done took police on high-speed chases, man. I done did all types of shit, man. I've been locked up. It's not really happening like that, man. That's not what reality is. The reality of it is, you know, there's going to be bad apples here and there, and some things are going to go kind of sideways, you know, especially when people are already having this disposition in their mind that somebody's their enemy, or to that effect. When you have it in your mind that somebody's your enemy, the minute you come across them, it comes off. You can't hide that energy. So, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just this black and white, oh, black men are being killed and targeted and all this extra stupid shit. You know, this kind of brings up the whole talk of the immunity argument, you know, that they keep trying to throw out in the Project 2025 shit, the hyperbolic shit. People don't even read into what's going on. You know, the reality is 2025 project and all this immunity stuff, man, you're not getting away with murder. If a cop kills a black man and he's going outside of his training, he's going outside of the company statutes, the police department statutes, oh, that man finna be fried. The immunity is based off of if somebody is doing their job properly and they have body cam footage or evidence to show that they're doing their job properly, people cannot come back and sue that man personally for any, you know, accidental death or anything like that, man or woman. That's what the immunity clause is about. It's about not being caught in some umbrella of just blame, even if it's an accident and somebody was doing their job to the best of their ability. That's what the immunity clause is about. It's not a just free pass to go and do whatever the fuck you want to do to people. Come on, man. Y'all got to do y'all research and stop believing everything that just fly by on the internet, man. Oh, man. So this one here, Emmett Jones, he's my cousin, by the way. I told you, I ain't holding no punches with nobody. I love you, M. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this is just perfect example. You posted this for public to see. And it's a perfect example of people really not knowing what they're talking about. He says, watching people find out how tariffs work is quite entertaining. They really believe him when he says foreign companies are going to pay tariffs. Well, they made their bed, so it's time to lay in it. All I know is black people will be all right because we are survivors. All right. Yes, black people will be all right. I mean, and there is something to be said about being a survivor. We are descendants of individuals who were sold by countrymen of the same origin to another countryman to be taken to a foreign land and used as free labor, and we generally survived all of that. A lot of us fought with the the Union to stop the Confederacy, and we earned our freedom. We survived it all. So yes, black people will be all right. We will be okay. We will survive. The problem in all this comment is the tariff situation, how it works. Tariffs are a tool for negotiation, cuz the fact that you think that foreign companies aren't going to pay them tariffs is what's laughable. Right now, America is the #1 consuming nation in the world. There is no reality in which a country like India, China, that mass produces and manufactures shit doesn't want access to this consumer population. We don't manufacture them a lot of stuff, and we're trying to bring manufacturing back. And tariffs is a tool to do so because it opens up opportunity for people like me, people like you in this country to compete with the prices because we can do stuff here. Now, those countries, they will pay the tariffs. Why? Because they need to get access to our consumer base. They have to pay the tariffs. What do you? It is not. It's not companies. It's not foreign companies. It's the countries themselves paying tariffs on their currency to actually get the products in the country. So yes, okay, costs may go up, but guess what happens? Competition, free market. The prices get lowered when people hear, say, hey, I got an idea. Instead of those dumbass chairs being made in China, I can make them here for a fraction of the cost, and I got an open market base. I got home team favoritism. So yeah, it might not be an overnight fix, but at the same time, it also evens out the playing field because they put tariffs on us all the fucking time. We pay an exorbitant amount of tariffs in all of these countries that we don't charge tariffs. So you have to look into this shit a little bit more because you're just making blatant statements and don't have a basis of research in it. You don't understand macro and micro economics to make this statement and say it so confidently that you believe that everybody else is losing their mind. It mind boggles me when people do this. Like, for instance, when I go and negotiate freight rates with a shipper, with a broker, whoever I'm negotiating with, 9 times out of 10, they might have a going market rate that they're trying to stick to. You think I'm going to come to them and tell them, yeah, I could do it for that? Yeah, I could do that if I'm desperate. But if I'm not desperate, I'm going to try to bring the price up because cost of everything is going up. So I might go 25, 30% higher on my offer, on my bid. And then we can negotiate down. Why? Because they don't want to pay that high, and I didn't really care to stay that high anyway. I was negotiating. That's what the tariffs are. Tariffs have a lot of different things going on. I mean, if you look at what's going on in Mexico right now, immediately President Trump got elected, and Mexico came out saying we're gonna avoid those tariffs at all costs. Whatever the USA needs, whatever they want, we'll stop the migrants. They already starting to stop migrants at the border now. Why? Because they don't want the tariffs. So for you to say this so confidently, you're bypassing so much. You're bypassing so much information that you're just putting out how you feel right now because you don't like the president-elect. And that is a problem. But anyway, let's continue. Some liberal governors are already, let me go back. Some liberal governors are already saying they will use executive authority to stop Trump from deporting illegals from states. So we're going to get to a point where a handful of blue states will be where all of these 30, 40 million illegals congregate and create their havoc. This is going to get very, very ugly very fast. Trump needs to defy those governors, consider placing them under arrest for harboring fugitives, and deport away. Anyway, I totally agree to the deporting. I agree to actually going to war with these governors and these liberal mayors and everything like that. Like, who is Brandon Johnson out of Chicago? Already working at a negative deficit. constantly spending millions and millions of dollars monthly. I mean, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to it, but look up what's going on with Brandon Johnson over the last year and a half. He's talking about raising property taxes when he said he won't raise property taxes on a campaign trail, all to fund his sanctuary city policies. The guy down there in the corner, that you see a little clip of his video, Black Conservative Perspective, go check him out. Fascinating, wonderful channel, insightful. He's one of the best political commentators in the game to me. You know what I mean? He's one of the best. I'll be covering videos of him soon. But yeah, so you got all of these governors and all of these liberal mayors and cities that want to uphold and keep the nonsense going. Well, mind you, a lot of it is really their corruption. They're paying their partners, paying people that they know to do stuff off of federal funds. This is part of what Vivek and Elon is working on, trying to reduce federal spending. And here these governors want to keep doing it, taking our money to do shit that we ain't got nothing to deal with, like taking our hard-earned money to pay for people that broke in the country to do whatever the hell they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up in a world where crime didn't pay, right? I grew up in a reality where crime was not the way to get ahead, right? Even though I found out opposite wise when I started doing crime and I got in trouble, but crime was paying. That's why I was doing part of it, right? Well, here we are as a country allowing criminals who broke our border laws to come in the country and prosper off of the citizens' tax dollars. That's absolutely ridiculous. I had a video I posted on November 4th called "So the Election is Over, What Next?" And I spoke on. I was speaking from a perspective that I didn't have faith that the American people were going to see through all the mainstream info that they were getting and the mainstream narrative that was being pushed. I thought that we were going to probably have another 2020 where Trump got stumped. You know what I mean? Whether it was cheating or not, I don't really care about that. If you can win by cheating in a major election, it was too close. It was too close in my book anyway, which we rectified this time. But what I can say is, if you look at what I said in that video, I was speaking about conservatives having to get and group up together, find red areas, and build themselves self-sufficiently and start advocating for their local municipalities and their local politicians and their governors to work towards secession. All right. I don't take that advice back. Matter of fact, I flip it and tell these liberal governors, these liberal mayors, they should do it now. They don't have power over the federal government. They have this much disdain for our rule of law in our country. Why don't you just go ahead and push for secession? Go ahead and do this thing on your own. And as I'm consistent, I feel like the right should have did it if they felt like they were at that point. Because, you know, the way I see it, this is not over. This is just the beginning of it. You know, a lot of conservatives are running around on their high horses like this is the ending of everything in the country's back together. No, it's gotten worse. You got people out here killing their parents. Like there was a story come out of Washington, a lady, and I might cover that. A lady killed her father with an ice pick the night of the election, and she was his caretaker. He's in a wheelchair or something like that, disabled. She takes an ice pick to his head multiple times, kills this man, kills her father over this fucking election. This is a fucking mind virus, man. This is a mind virus. This is not healthy. This is not mentally good. There's the rationale to all of this is crazy. And I think divorce is fine. Irreconcilable differences. The country may need the divorce. If people can try to reach their olive branches across the aisle and start seeing that, you know, things shouldn't be as crazy as they are, but I don't think that that's actually possible at this point. There's too many drastically different narratives and too many drastically different ideologies at war with one another right now. So whatever this new administration does is going to piss off at least 60, 50 million people. No matter what, because their ideology is fundamentally different. If you If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back to my November 5th, 4th video, and I covered the topic of how different we are seeing the world, kind of in depth. So check it out. Patience. Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. Go Simpsons. Patience. The Simpsons haven't been wrong yet. They want Donald Trump in a casket. They want Donald Trump in a casket. One thing I can say, the left, they don't care about this type of uncouth ideology. They think Trump needs to die. They agree with it. You know how many times after he got the attempts on his life, people I seen all over the internet, damn, why did they miss? I wish they would hit him. All of this dumb shit. I don't see the right wishing death on people, on Biden, on Kamala. I haven't. And if you have, post something, send me a link. I'll watch it. But I've blatantly watched, large name commentators like Destiny, David Pakman, talk about there is no recourse we could ever have with the right. Like, what are you talking about? No matter how many times we try to talk to you peacefully, here it comes with this irrational, mind-boggling and stupidity of violence and wanting people to die because you disagree with them. And it's not even disagreements for real. It's just y'all don't even know what the hell we talking about half the time on the left. Y'all have literally no clue. Just like what I pointed out with my cousin talking about tariffs. He literally has no clue. No clue. And don't care. Don't care to do the research. Most of them don't care to look into shit. What's next? I must have saved this for some reason. Let's go back a little bit. But she was willing to put it in writing. It's not an isolated incident. She's willing to do that, expose herself so blatantly. It's because the culture of FEMA supports it. Okay. So basically, this I did a bad job of cropping that. That was the weaponization of FEMA, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, FEMA's not discriminating on Trump supporters and MAGA supporters." Well, I would advise you guys go check out Roland Martin's video with the FEMA supervisor that was fired. It was a black lady that was in charge of directing teams of FEMA street advocates and people that were searching for people that need assistance. Well, she blatantly says that they avoided MAGA houses. They avoided houses with Trump paraphernalia. And her excuse was because those people were always nasty and attacking FEMA. I just find that hard to believe. It's just like I heard a story from another guy telling me that a bunch of white ladies on election night were running around beating up black Kamala Harris supporters. When I hear stuff like this, it's just hard for me to believe because I've been a conservative since about 2000 and I would say 12. And when it comes down to the sides, the irrationality, the quick to anger, the intolerance almost always has coming from the liberal side or the left. So when I hear stuff like that, it's just like, come on, man. Come on. Ain't no gang of white women running around beating up no black women because they're voting for Kamala. It sounds fucking retarded to me. I would likely believe that it was a bunch of black women running around beating up a bunch of white women that were voting for Trump. Why? I mean, all you got to do is look around, player. And I've been around too many black women that are quick to fight and don't give a damn and I'll get loud and argue with you about your opinion because you don't agree with them. We could go on that topic long and hard if we want to. But long story short, the lady admitted to it, and she had it in writing. And that's what this is about. That's what that's about. What else we got? I thought that was funny. Before we work on artificial intelligence, why don't we do something about natural stupidity? That was hilarious. I had snipped out. Thomas Sowell. If you guys don't know who Thomas Sowell is, please look this man up. He is a national treasure. He is probably the greatest economist in the 21st century that has ever lived, in my opinion, has ever lived, truthfully. But he's one of my idols. He's one of my mentors. even though he doesn't know it. Grab his books, look at his lectures. He's a fascinating guy, and probably will take your mental to a whole nother level if you dedicate some time to him. This post here was, why do actors, people whose main talent is faking emotions, think their opinions should be directing the course of political events in the real world? Yet it is a mistake that they have been making as far back as John Wilkes Booth. I mean, 100%. There's no reason why Beyonce, Cardi B, Eminem, any of them guys should have been paid millions of dollars, Glorilla, to come out and endorse Kamala Harris like that's actually going to do something. Anybody with a thinking brain don't give a damn about what celebrities' politicals, perspectives are. 9 times out of 10, most of them got famous in their early 20s, maybe late teens, possibly. A lot of them got rich off of talent, which was God-given. The thing about getting rich that way gives you a skewed perspective of the world, in a lot of different ways. And if you guys are really interested on that topic, I can get into that a little bit, but we'll do that at a later date. But yeah, celebrities are celebrities. They're not genius political idealists. They're not people who even study politics to that degree. You know what I mean? They work their craft. So to throw a celebrity in my face and make that mean that it's going to change the way I feel about the economy, how much I'm spending in gas, when they don't, that's not a reality to them. How much, my day-to-day problems, running my business, the regulations coming down on my business regularly, that Beyonce could never say anything to me that would get me to not see what I see. So the celebrity approach is really for young people in their youth, the people that are coming up. They're 14 years old right now. They're remembering this struggle, and then when they're 18, they'll vote because of what this person said. Or if they're 18 to 25, they're just young and partying a lot. You know what I mean? They're not really considering reality like that. They don't even really think about the future too tough in a general sense. So anybody with, a little life experience dealing with, their own pocketbook issues, their kitchen table issues, there's nothing a celebrity is going to do to actually help you, get forward in any kind of way on that matter, right? That was funny. Legacy Media, dead. They buried it. They did. Elon said something wonderful the night after election, or the night of the election, on Twitter, which has also lit another fire under me that made me realize how important this time we're living in is. This is the first time in human history that great grandchildren 100 years from now are going to be able to look back and see the political stances and ideologies and the way that their great grandfathers, great grandmothers carried themselves. This is the first time in human history where the people don't have an authoritative news source as their only way of getting information. The people are the media. He said, we the people are now the media. And that's powerful. I encourage everybody to start recording and letting their voices be heard, letting their perspective be heard. Put this thing out there. Let it go wild. Let all the information go. I don't care if it's misinformation. I don't care if it's disinformation. It's on the duty of those who are taking in the information to search out and fact check the information, not wait for somebody to do it for you and tell you what is law. This is the reason why people like that lady in Washington go and kill her fucking father, because he voted a way that she didn't like, beat this man to death with an ice pick. Because she sat there and absorbed the MSNBCs, the CNNs, the ABCs, nonstop, where headline after headline after headline after headline is Hitler, 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 fucking danger to democracy. Never once going and doing her own research. Never once actually investigating what the actual problem is. The liberal legacy media is dead, and I'm glad it's dead. And it's dying. Every last one of them are losing ratings because people are starting to realize that that's not where the information's at. And hopefully more people do this and make them counter correct so they start being honest. Because I don't think they're actually going nowhere. I think they just have real competition now. It's no longer just in their hands. CNN, Fox, all of that. It's no longer their narrative to manipulate. It's no longer their situation to control. And you're going to see over the next 2-3 years, it looks like they're doubling down, which is wild to me. Like, y'all didn't get it. Y'all didn't see how the American people said F all of that nonsense. But it is what it is. That's something they got to learn the hard way, I guess. What else we got? Yeah. The truth is no longer hidden. Now the people are hiding the truth from themselves. That goes back to what I'm saying. The people that 30, 40, 50% of the population that still gets all of their news from mainstream outlets. I don't care if you get your news from both sides mainstream. You have to dig and do more. Go to the Census Bureau webpage and do statistical research for yourself so you can get a whole picture of it. So you don't just know one stat and repeat that one stat that CNN told you to repeat or Fox told you to repeat. Go find the truth because it's out there. It's everywhere. Whether it's talking about the World Economic Forum, the George Soroses of the world. Stay tuned. I got a whole hit piece coming up on George Soros where I'm going to dive deep. I'm going to go deep as the abyss with this guy. I'm going to put it on Front Street. That's the top. That's one of the puppet masters of the world right now, and we're going to get into that too. But I've been putting things together for you guys, so just stay patient with me and stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. All right. What else we got? I have great respect for the American people who saw through the relentless propaganda and voted for change. Kamala Harris had 3 times the money, 80% of the legacy media, 99% of Hollywood, and 100% of federal institutions. 100%. I am so proud of the people who stood up and said, damn this shit. Let's change it. I'm proud of you. The battle is not over. The war is not won. It's actually just starting. You know what I mean? I know everybody's happy, but we have to collectively keep our foot on their necks to keep this thing going in the right way, because they're not going to stop. They're just going to get a little bit more cunning. A lot of times people on the right underestimate the people on the left because they don't realize that the people on the left move as a collective. The people on the right move as individuals. The people on the left move as collective, and all of them are not thinking. They're just moving as the group moves, and they take their marching orders from think tanks and the talking heads. They don't individually dissect anything that comes down the pipeline, and when they do, they typically end up on the right. All right. This was a picture that resonated with me that I came across. Is a picture of the birthplace of the Republican Party in Ripon, Wisconsin, right? All right. It says, on this day, March 20th, 1854, the Republican Party of the United States of America was founded in a schoolhouse in Ripon, Wisconsin, purpose to counter the Democrats' plans to expand slavery. A lot of people don't realize this, that the Republican Party was built on the concept of abolitionists. Abolition, you know what I'm saying, abolition. It was an abolitionist movement, and the whole idea was trying to cater to the rights of man themselves. We have a constitutional republic that we live in, and the Republican Party back then wanted to live up to that, to the fullest sense. And this is why they were hated, despised. This is why Abraham Lincoln was murdered. If you ever notice anybody that's trying to uphold the freedoms of man or the freedom from government, they are always attacked, it seems like. Whether it was John F. K., JFK, whether it was Reagan, when you got people, and now Donald Trump, when you have people on the Republican Party that stand up to the Democrats, though, it seems like the vitriol finds new heights. The Constitution of our republic is the first of its kind, the first one to ever be written where it is directly a bylaw of what the government cannot do to its citizens, what protections and rights the citizens actually have against the government. No other constitution until this one was made in that manner. All other constitutions of every other country was made in telling the citizens what the government can do to it. So the Republican Party, if you go down the list of the Constitution, you just talk about the First Amendment, why they care so much about the First Amendment. Freedom of speech. If you control your thoughts, if you can control your speech, you can control your thoughts, you can share words, share message, and that's very important. This is the reason why the Republican Party stands so tough on it. The Second Amendment. Without the Second Amendment, you can't enforce the First. You cannot enforce the First. And let me tell you something about you people out here that are so crazy about eliminating the Second Amendment. I lived on a side where, a lot of people that I know didn't give a damn about no Second Amendment or not. They had guns. And they had ways of getting guns in this country, just the same way dope come in this country. All right, so all of this Second Amendment, keeping your streets safe and all that, you'll give up your Second Amendment right to make sure that the country's safe. You're an idiot. You just turned yourself into food. That's it. That's it. Don't nobody give a damn about that law. Don't nobody give a damn about, oh, you're not supposed to have guns. Look at Chicago, one of the strictest gun law places in the country, and every weekend 30, 40 people get shot by illegal guns. Guns that are coming in from Mexico, from Canada, from the shipping. When people making illegal funds, they are not doing things legally. It's just that simple. When people are making illegal funds, they are not doing things illegally. Every woman out here in this country needs a gun. Well, that's a topic for another day. This is just some reels we're supposed to be going through. Anyway, we'll get to some more of this stuff. But yeah, the Republican Party has always been on the right side of history. Hopefully, the next hurricane destroys Florida completely, sink it into the sea. This was right after election. Of course, they feel this way. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I've never heard any conservative say no dumb shit like that after an election. As their spitefulness, Crazy. You didn't trust a black woman to run for office. Don't ask them for help. Don't ask them for a date. Don't ask them to save a failed project at work. Don't ask them to move in when your credit is shit. Don't ask them to build you up. Don't ask them for hair, skin, beauty, or fashion tips. Don't ask them for nothing. You didn't deserve them, and certainly don't deserve them now. Somebody in the comment underneath it said, absolutely. And don't come talk to me about your black friends and how many of them you have, because I don't give a fuck. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Don't nobody care that she was black or a woman. She was an idiot. She was a puppet. She regurgitated the same nonsense in every goddamn interview. She was a horrible, horrible candidate. The sooner y'all realize that, the sooner you'll realize that this whole fucking thread comment means nothing. It sounds stupid to anybody with two brain cells to think apart. What else we got? What else we got? No tax on overtime. Put me down for 180 hours this week, boss man. Hey, I love that. Truthfully, I would love to have no tax on overtime, especially while I was working and around. I mean, that's a beautiful policy. But these jackasses in the comment are helpless. He said they'll just stop letting you get overtime. Who? Are you talking about your company? Your company's gonna stop? What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? The What the hell are we talking about? The company is not going to stop doing what they have already been done because you're no longer being taxed. That makes literally no sense. The taxes come out of your check and go to the federal government, not to the company. They don't have a dog in that fight. Like, what are you talking about? And people agree to that shit? Come on, man. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all need to think a little bit more. What the job going to limit you to 40 a week and just hire more employees? They don't want to see your ball. Napoleon Anthony Greer, you are an idiot. You are an idiot. The job going to limit you to 40 a week just to hire more employees, which that will cost them more. What are you saying? What are you saying? So instead of paying you 10 hours of overtime extra, we're just going to hire another guy with a whole nother 40 hours that we got to train him. Come on, man. Come on, man. You're not making any sense. Stop the madness. This was a beautiful meme to me. What we think we need is all this technology and stuff, but what we actually need, is some land and some good, healthy food to grow on our own little farm space. Yeah, that was funny. I'll wrestle your mother-in-law for $1. That's hilarious. I got $1 for you, baby. That was funny. Oh my God, check this out. He broke up with me. Come on now. He broke up with me, so I did a video with his homies. Where's the flex in that? Don't you know the internet is forever, young lady? Don't you realize that one day you'll have kids and they'll look up and see this and be like, damn, my mama was a bust down. This is not a flex, and you're not hurting that guy. You're actually doing that guy a solid. I don't know why women think that doing stuff like that is hurting that guy. You're hurting you, not him. His momentary pain of knowing that his partners just ran one on you, it's only a moment in time. If anything, you just hurt yourself and possibly the next couple women that he deals with, because now he's going to look at women as stock pockets. You know, just keeping it 100. That's not a flex. That's not the flex you think it is, baby girl. You should take that down as soon as possible. And what is the splash? What is the splash? What we got here? Fellas, how would you help her out with her bills if you were her man? Bills due soon. All right, let's see what it say. Her bills due soon. Rent is $29.95. Ooh. Car note $600. Light bill. Where's the insurance? Okay, light bill $287. Gas bill $178. Water bill $187. Cable $210. You paying $210 for cable, baby. Trash $45. Cell phone $500. $500. What the hell are we talking about? Insurance $200. Groceries $400. How you pay more in your cell phone bill than your monthly grocery bill? How is that possible? Toiletries $100. Miscellaneous $300. This is why I don't get what you doing, Tex. Hey, listen. First of all, I'm gonna say something. Black people, we got to be better. We got to be better financially and more physically responsible. All right. If I was to say that I'm going to help this woman, first of all, rent $29.95. I don't know her personal circumstance. I don't know her location. But I know always there's some suburbs. And if you want to be living in the mix and you want to rent, that's half your problem, obviously. I mean, the total was $6,000. That's literally half your problem. Your total bills are $6,000 and you're paying $3,000 in rent. In rent. You'll never see that money again. Ever. I'm not saying that you shouldn't rent if the circumstances are for you to be renting. I.e., you just moved somewhere for a job, you're young, you don't have a lot of money saved up, and you're getting your feet wet in the game, in the market, you're going to rent. But to pay $3,000 a month in rent is such a significant portion of your income that you could be putting towards your future and building a life for yourself. I would advise to find something cheaper in the suburbs, somewhere around that you could possibly rent, or with that type of, if you have the income to make that, to pay your bills regularly at $6,000, I would advise finding somewhere to own and make a mortgage payment, a fraction of that, and then take some of that excess that you're saving now that you have a mortgage payment and then put it towards emergency funds for anything that goes wrong with your house. You need to be putting that money somewhere that will work for you and actually will come back and pay you equity later. I would never rent for $3,000. That's asinine to me. Car note, $600. If you're struggling on your bills and you are paying $600 a month in car note in a car, you need to go get a cash car. That is extremely too much to be paying for a car note. The average person over 20 to 30 years paying $600 into a mutual fund, ETX, on that just simply follows the S&P or the Dow. You're going to be a millionaire in 20 to 30 years. You're going to be a millionaire just off of that monthly. Yet you're putting into a car that you will never get your money out of. All right, just something to think about. Light bill, that doesn't seem unreasonable. Gas bill, that doesn't seem unreasonable. The water bill doesn't seem unreasonable. The cable. As much as you could do with the internet nowadays, I would just cut that shit. Me and my household, I could afford whatever cable I want. But I don't have cable. I have the internet. That's all I need. And it's all bundled into my cell phones for my whole house. My wife, my kids, everything. All right. So, I mean, that is ridiculous. Trash, that's part of renting. Cell phone. I mean, again, cell phone and cable should be, nowadays there's so many packages out here. Go get you some Spectrum. Go get Verizon, something where I don't know what you got. I don't know what kind of plans you got. I don't know what kind of technology you've contracted yourself to, like the latest iPhone. Stop trying to keep up with those trends. You're paying almost $700 collectively for cable and cell phone. All of that could be bundled in under $100. I don't know how many lines you got, but no more than $200 for all of that. That's crazy. Insurance is reasonable. Groceries is reasonable. Toiletries, yeah. Miscellaneous. Everybody wants some entertainment, but yeah, I see at least $2,000 somewhere, maybe $3,000 that you should be taking out of here with the rent, car note, cable, and cell phone alone. That's a lot. That's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. Maybe you need Elon and Vivek to swing by your spot. We already covered that. You know how I feel about the Republican Party. Let me grab something to eat before I wake up tomorrow and restaurants say whites only. The fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we? What the hell are we talking about? Whatever. Foolish. Okay, this was a good segment. I spoke on Brandon Johnson a little bit earlier. I advise you, if you're interested in this topic, dig a little deeper into it. Watch some of the stuff that's come out on Brandon Johnson and his way of running his city for the last year and a half, and you will understand these people's frustration. They're mad at this guy, and I don't think this gives a lot of context, but to all that's been going on, because these guys have been having hearings for a while now, and Brandon Johnson is a bully. He runs the media off. He doesn't answer questions. He creates his own narratives, and he spins like a damn drunk seller looking for prostitutes regularly. Like, he doesn't care about the people's money or their finance, and people are pissed. So here are these people.
Good afternoon.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson, you underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in y'all side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago. That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're going to turn red.
Y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Sims, direct your attention towards me, please.
You a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're going to protect the undocumented. Why you going to allow for the citizens in the Chicago to suffer under your, 33%? When C. Joe Lopez cooked that 3% up.
Mind you, he said on his campaign when he was running for mayor that he would not raise taxes on people in any kind of way. And here they are, $300 million vote for property tax increase. This is why these people are pissed off. Meanwhile, he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the illegals that he's welcoming here to his city now as we speak. And he's defying what the new administration is going on as a sanctuary city. And he's like, damn these people. Chicago's going to stand up and do what it needs to do by taxing his people to death to make it happen. People better pay attention to their local
A long time ago, y'all called it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember, before you came in here and gave that jovial speech, you need to be inspected. You wearing that creep over there.
Acting like, you just gonna bully everybody. You got people, officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin.
That old lady grew up in the hood.
But those of us who grew up on the south side and west side of Chicago, we all know that at some point that bully gets cornered in the alley. And everybody come at him. And he ain't gonna have nobody to help him. That's you. That's you. Keep thinking you ain't gonna abide by what the president of the United States said.
Like, how stupid you gotta be.
Better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in city council in red. You know what it is? Yeah. So you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's
just
loser.
Standing there dumbfounded, too.
No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves. We got you, loser.
14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the nerve to get on there and talk about cutting the pensions. What about our real estate? Because, see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals and gonna take your money back. Start it off with
wonderful. I applaud these people in Chicago that are not fleeing Chicago and they're trying their best to fix Chicago. That's something that a lot of these illegals need to be doing. They're trying to flee their country instead of fix their country. A lot of places you vote on things and you allow things to go on, and then you want to run somewhere else to enjoy other people's situations when you're leaving what you created. Now, I don't know if all of these people voted for Brandon Johnson, but if they did, I admire them for coming up and actually now rebuking Brandon Johnson and knowing that they did wrong by voting this guy into power. I think we need to take that into consideration everywhere. And I get it. There's a lot of countries in the world where voting is not a real thing. But when you have military age men, 18 to 25, fleeing their country in droves to come to another place to try to suck the resources out of that place and send it back to the other place, you're not fixing your problems. You're just making problems for other people. And I think those people in those countries need to fix their problem. They love their country. You come over here flying the flag of your country. You love your country so much. Why don't y'all unify? All of y'all are young enough to fight. Fight for your damn country back. All right? Stop coming and trying to get us to fight your battles. What else we got? The real stars aren't in Hollywood. They're the brave men and women in uniform who protect our way of life. You know, I appreciate that when people, you know, show that kind of patriotism and also salute, give a nod and a respect and salute to our patriots and our veterans. You know, I am a veteran and people tell me thank you for my service all the time. And I do appreciate the acknowledgement. When I was younger and I signed up, I didn't know fully what I was undertaking. Over time, I became more of a patriot while I was in the military. And now I'm so much more of a patriot after getting a fuller picture of what our country really is. So I appreciate people when they do this. But I think I saved this mostly because of the comment section. So look at these comments that are in here. One of the comments, this lady, Cindy Bellamy, obviously what J.D. Vance was talking about, angry old cat ladies. This lady says, I disagree. They're just doing the job they volunteered to do. The real heroes are the citizens of this country that work hard every day with compassion and love in their hearts. You're a fucking idiot, Cindy Bellamy. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. All right. There's so many words that I can go in on about this that, you know, bothers me. You think that you have these freedoms and luxuries of life to sit around on your doggone cell phone to do because people don't fight and die for those freedoms? People that volunteered to put their life on the line. When you go and you sign that dotted line in MEPS and you sign your life over to the government, do you realize you waive your constitutional rights to be a slave for the American citizen, to serve and protect foreign and domestic problems for the American citizen, for you, Cindy Bellamy? I don't give a damn how you feel about war, how you feel about this and how you feel about that, because they're all feelings. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't have police, if you don't have soldiers, if you don't have the Army, Navy, Air Force, now Space Force, you don't have these deterrent threats, your life would be like you living in the Congo right now. You fucking privileged ass old cat lady. Y'all make me sick. Trump first ended the Bush dynasty, then he ended the Clinton dynasty, then the Cheney dynasty, then the Biden dynasty, and finally the Obama dynasty. Facts. Because you know that's what Kamala's run was. Black people walking around with their MAGA gear looking like goofies. What type of statement y'all trying to make? The irony of how stupid you sound to most people. You get up here and blatantly say this shit, you sound stupid. When I see somebody in a black guy in a Harris Waltz hat, Obama hat, stuff like that, I've seen them. I think to myself, like, you're making a blatant political statement. I feel like you might be ignorant on a lot of topics. When I see a black person walking around with a MAGA hat, I see somebody that has blatantly taken the courage to go against the grain, because all black people know how the vast majority of black people look at us when we wear stuff like that. I look at somebody with that's black that wearing that not as a a brown nose or somebody kissing massa ass, like y'all like to say. I look at somebody that's actually informed and decided not to be ignorant anymore and start looking into shit for themselves. Next topic. Stop foreign aid until our house is in order. So far this year, United States has given 24 billion. Yeah, man. No trillion. No, hell no. 24 billion to Ukraine, 11.3 billion to Israel, 1.9 billion to Ethiopia, 1.6 billion to Jordan, 1.4 billion to Egypt, 1.1 billion to Afghanistan, 1.1 billion to Somalia, 1 billion to Yemen, 987,000 to Congo, 896,000 to Syria, and 9,000 per illegal immigrant that has entered the U.S. and Americans. What did I say? Americans who have lost everything in Hurricane Helene will be getting $750 courtesy of FEMA. That is 100% correct, my dear lady, and that is some fuckery. All right, I mean, there's so much money floating around and people rubbing each other's hands, especially with this Ukraine shit. There's a lot more to it than just Russia, Ukraine. There's a lot more to it when it comes down to oil, to pharmaceuticals, to the people that are actually legislating in Ukraine, to on the agenda of NATO. There's a lot that's going into it, and the American people are being sucked dry to fund fuckery. Yes, I totally agree. Stop all foreign aid until our house is in order. And long beyond that, yes, I'm isolationist, very big, very much so. What's next? Oh my goodness. This is another one. This is another situation. I don't understand how people actually is dumb. Like he said, Alex Stone, Trump Secretary of Defense. Are we supposed to pretend that isn't a swastika? I mean, I would jump into looking into showing you how easy it is, but everybody just Google this shit right now. It's insane to me that Trump said that this is what people are talking about. This thing, with a simple Google search, people would be able to look up what all of this is. It has nothing to do with Nazism. It's a Christian cross from the medieval ages. The way people just reach for shit is astounding to me. Please do your research before you guys post on the internet. Absolutely insane. Look at this shit. Connecticut teacher resigns after threatening Trump supporters in Snapchat video. If you want to fight, text me. Okay. In the now viral video, Chapman School special education teacher Annie Dunleavy threatened to fight and hurt people who come to her and tell her they voted for Trump. A teacher. Like, why would you do this? What's the rationale here? You're supposed to be teaching multitude of kids. Like, what, you don't think you got some kids that have Trump supporting families? Like, this is what I tell people. You got to realize you're giving your kids to people like this 8 hours a day, every day, no matter what side you're on. These people can't even control themselves. You think they're not going to put whatever ideology they want to put into your kids? Your kids listen to them more than they listen to you. This is why me and my wife homeschool our kids at this moment.
Voted for, and
right now
just
we speak.
Please don't test your
Test
gangster
our,
on
don't
me
test our
because
gangster. Oh.
you will end on a stretcher, gone.
Man, stop it
forever.
Stop
so
it.
Serious. Nobody talk to me unless
What
you want to
talking about?
swing. If you want to fight,
the hell are we
text
talking
me,
about?
call me, whatever.
Those who know you say you love teaching. How hard is it to walk away from that?
It's hard right now because, you know, this is not who I am as a professional or who I am as a teacher. I've devoted my whole life to this, you know, preparing my whole life. I always wanted to be a teacher from the time I was a young child. And, you know, I finally worked my way up to that. And I am well respected, which I appreciate. I love my students. I love their families. I love the people I work with.
Now she's sorry.
And, you know, I'm just trying to do what's right now to get my life back on track and get back to what I love. And it's my biggest passion in the world.
What's your message to those parents?
Those parents, I am so sorry
You
that you had to see that side of me, because the only side of me I ever wanted you to see was what you saw and what I did for your kids and what I did for you. And I hope that I was always a support and always did everything that I possibly could for you. And I promise you that I intended to, and I did everything I could to be there for the families and the parents, and just how sorry I am that now this is out there and they have to see this side of me.
It's her biggest passion in the world.
This all started to unfold when that video was released earlier this week, prompting the school and police to investigate. She posted it on Snapchat. A friend of hers reposted it, and that's when it went viral. Dunleavy also told me today that police...
There goes the apology.
And Cheshire Police say they do not plan to charge her.
You had to see that side of me. That side of me. I promise I'll keep it hidden. I won't get on the internet and do this anymore. I just do it with your children at school. Okay? I won't embarrass everyone like this again. Man. The host should have said, since you want to fight MAGA supporters, we have a surprise guest. Did I miss the apology for doing it in the first place? I wish they wouldn't give her the time of the day. Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. I'm moving too fast. Moving too fast. Hold on. I wish they wouldn't give her the time of the day. She's getting her 15 minutes of fame. She'll try to get some cash out of it. Don't help her. Yes, please don't help her, you guys. Fuck that. No donations. She made that bed. Not too long ago, they were being taught. Now they're doing the teaching. Understand? This would be too funny if it weren't so damn scary. So this says, when you're trying to save the Department of Education, but accidentally make the best case for eliminating it. Let's see what it says. Let's see what else it says. So this lady named Monet, she says, oh, by the way, middle schoolers can't read. High schoolers can't write a proper essay. College students can't differentiate a scholarly based article versus propaganda. And adults can't tell when a picture is AI, but sure, get rid of the Department of Education. Laugh out loud. I think you made the point. Money or Monet or Monica, whatever the hell you call yourself. You made the point for them. This is exactly what we're complaining about. Especially in the Black community, all over the country, kids are reading at first and second grade levels in high school. Yet year after year, we're spending billions of dollars on it in that department. Something has to change, because obviously they're not effective. And you just admitted to it. So just keep putting more money on the shit? No, that's not how you fix it. You got to start over. Scratch that shit. Fuck the the sunken cost fallacy. It's too late for all of that. Too late for that. I love my students. I love their families, except for the ones that vote Trump. That sounds about right, too. What do we have here? This is New Zealand's parliament in 2024.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The
Okay.
gallery is to be cleared.
Okay, I think that was an interesting clip of the New Zealand's parliament. One thing that stands out about, before I speak on this, because I'm ignorant on this, the topic of what's happening in New Zealand and what they were having a dispute about. One thing that stands out to me was the cultural unity that they had in the parliament. All right, I must say that does touch me in a wild way. But something else that I have to point out is the fact that we don't talk about this enough. Women have a power, no matter the race, culture, or creed, to call to arms their men. As you've seen in this clip, it was a lady that started it off, and she called the rest of the group into arms. I don't know what the topic is. I don't know what the fight is over. So I don't have an opinion based for or against the argument or the fight. But what I am pointing out is the emotionality. I think emotionality has to be out of politics. And women bring that to the politics, a lot of emotionality. And not saying that women can't be in politics. I think they need to figure out how to take emotionality out of politics for themselves and for everybody else that they're trying to lead or represent. In this parliament, obviously, this is looks like the people who were confused and didn't know what was going on are not natives, and the people who were all chanting and demonstrating together, which looks like an old cultural war. If I'm correct about old Polynesian cultures, anybody in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. They used to do war chants and stuff like this to prepare for battle. So for her to call that out in parliament and unify the natives together in unison to chant against whatever was going on was a plea to emotionality. We see this in all different cultures that, our women can appeal to our emotionality. The problem with that is when it comes to war, women are not typically on the front lines or the one risking their lives in these said conflicts. So therefore, there's a problem with me when women call for war, and not saying that that's what this was. It's just highlighting how easily women can appeal to men's emotionality and ready them for war is what I'm speaking on. I like the fact that there is a representation of the natives in that parliament, right? Like, so this also shows that was them collectively saying, this is important to us, and we stand against something, and we standing together against that, and we better be respected, whether you like it or not. I can salute that. Just on the premise of that stance, whether they're wrong or right on the circumstance. I have no clue what the circumstance is. I'm totally ignorant to it. And I might do some research on it because that's the way my brain works, to look in deeper to something. But one thing I do see in it is just from the off the rip, she was the one, it was her time to speak, and there was no speak happening. It went straight to a tribal chant. And she's the youngest. She's the youngest person in there. This seems like an appeal to overthrow or fight something, right? Like I said, I don't know the circumstances. essentially they could be 100% right because this is their land, this is their culture, this is where they come from. So I don't know the argument, but what I can say is if it led to violence, she likely would fade off into the background while the men would have to fight. And I just want people to start being more cognizant of these things. You know, I think I got another example of that coming up. And trust me, I know I got a lot of women in my family, and I've been ready to fight and do all types of stuff for them, for the call of emotionality from them. You know what I mean? Here's another example of it too. Like this here.
Look here. Listen up. To all you Trump supporters, okay? When this black woman win in November, if y'all go show y'all motherfucking ass at that motherfucking White House, if you want to, at that inauguration, it's gonna be smoke in the motherfucking city, okay? Because we don't play that, okay? Don't try that shit, okay? Don't try that shit now. Don't try that shit here. Because we going to be out there, okay? We going to be out there. And it ain't going down like it did last time. It ain't going down.
What's she going to do?
In a
black mama's
voice. It ain't act like
in a
you
black
got some
mama's
goddamn
voice.
sense.
What are you going to do? Send your sons to go die at this
you hear what I say?
This inauguration if Kamala had won?
To all Trump supporters.
And that's what I mean. The emotionality.
Act like you got some goddamn sense when that black woman coming to the room when she becomes president, okay? Act like you got some.
I mean, what's she gonna do? You gonna send your sons out there to fight about this? In a black mama's voice? You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, you don't even know what politics is going on. And you don't even know where this black woman stands on anything. Yet you ready to cause violence about it. You ready to go and fight for it. And you won't be fighting. What are you going to do? And that's what I mean. Emotionality has to be out of politics because it's unreasonable. It has no logic behind it. There's no place for it. Once again. Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay, we went through that. The internet is forever. She bought it on herself. And I hope she has a hard time getting another job because a true professional would have felt bad, but not put a Snapchat video like that out there. Punch a pillow like the rest of us do when we're upset. That's facts. I think they're talking about the lady, the teacher who was talking about fighting Trump supporters. You mean you were well respected? She is sorry her inside true self was shown to the public. We know what your true self is now, not the outside charade. Facts. When Trump and Kamala face off, but it's in the kitchen. Watch this. I don't want to watch that. What else we got? Why is it all these unhinged kids are teachers? Her license should be taken, period. Facts. I have zero remorse for her. She is mentally unstable and shouldn't be allowed to teach again. Facts. She said it's not who she is as a professional and at a teacher, but it's who she is as a person. Facts. Well, you fucked up your dream to be a teacher because you couldn't control your emotions. Facts on top of facts. Big facts. She's a horrible person, and she taught kids in special ed, poor kids. Another teacher who understands and abides by the code of ethics to remain impartial. No disclosure of personal agendas. I hope they all quit and good teachers are hired that understand the job. They are not the job. Great comment, Jane Thomas. So she's sorry they had to see that side of her. Notice she didn't say she's sorry for threatening to kill or hurt people, meaning she's sorry she got caught. Facts. Good comment. You know, I will always be shocked that people never learn from those who have already been fired for doing this. Yeah. Hashtag idiots. Yeah. 100% agree. 100% agree. What is this? Oh, that's the same. Breaking. Congressman Thomas Massie proposes a ban on dual citizenship for lawmakers. Do you support this? I actually do, to a degree, right? If you are a dual citizen, it does bring a conflict of interest. Say you had to vote on penalties or tariffs or something like that on another country, or you had to go along with it. You have a conflict of interest. So there's a part of me that agrees to it. Yeah, that's a rough one, because if you are dual citizenship and you want some economic advantage for your foreign country, there's a lot of touchy subjects with that, you know. So I couldn't say that that's a priority of mine on any kind of bucket list. I would rather see term limits first before we start digging into something like this, right? So term limits are way more important of a issue than dual citizenship to me. Breaking news. Bill Gates indicates interest to work with Trump in his new administration to build a better future. What's your reaction? I think Bill Gates gets a bad rap, sort of from the right, the same way Elon gets a bad rap from the left, to a degree. A lot of people think he's some kind of evil mastermind. I mean, I know he's come out with the that one speech where he's talking about reducing the population through vaccinations and birth control, health, and things of that nature. So I get the perspective. There's multiple ways you can go with this. It could be a lot of dirt that he's tied into that he's worried might get out, possibly. Being that his side has had a start mandate. I think he knows a lot of stuff going on that you know people aren't paying attention to, for the fact like he's buying up all the farmland in America. I have a person of mine that's a friend of mine saying that he's doing it because he wants to keep China from buying up all the farmland in America, and he's trying to help America out. It's a good argument. Is it reality? Who knows? What I would say is anybody with his means that wants to help should be able to help, right? Should be taken into consideration. Now, it's incumbent upon those in the administration directly to vet the help that he's trying to actually help with, in my opinion. Because none of us really know this man. We know of this man. I think he's a perfect example of the American dream coming true for a motherfucker that's a college dropout that, you know, figured out a way to finagle his ideas into billions of dollars. I think that's beautiful. Who he is may be a whole separate topic altogether. I know there's a lot of things going on with the Epstein Island, and I know that on the list he was one of the regular participants there, supposedly, as far as the flight documents go. But who's to say, you know, what actually he's been involved with? I am a person that reserves my 100% judgment on everything until I see all the facts. I don't like just jumping to conclusions about anything unless it's based solely on my opinion on something visual or something to that effect, right? So I try to mitigate that the best I can. That's what we got. Breaking: Nigel Farage's GB News is officially getting more views than both Sky News and BBC. Sky News is great. BBC is British cop propaganda. Last night they achieved 130% of Sky News audience and 108% of the BBC News channel. That's good for Nigel Farage. He's very right-wing in Europe. So I think that's huge that the people are starting to take hold of a nationalist message. I like that. I do like that. Oh, this Joker. Adam Schiff rejects Trump's appointment of Matt Gaetz as AG. Of course he does. I don't think Matt Gaetz will even make it. I don't think Matt Gaetz is going to be approved. And I don't know if Trump and them really suspect that he will be approved. I think they want to see who's going to go against the grain. I think this is trying to expose more of the corrupt. Adam Schiff is a complete total loser and asshole. If you've watched him over the last 8-9 years, you will see that he's put out lie after lie. He's created false investigations. He's sat over multiple different committees and put out propaganda and never walked any of it back, even when evidence showed he was lying. Never. The most he's ever said was, "I was misinformed." Ever. Never apologized for the shit he made up out his ass. So yeah, he's scum. He's pure scum. And I wish you guys that keep electing him go ahead and give a referendum towards him and get him the fuck out of our face. Actor and film producer Eva Longoria says her and her family have left the United States following President Trump's election win. Bye, Eva. Ever. Bye. Bye. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Breaking. John Bolton calls Trump's nomination of Matt Gaetz the worst nomination for a cabinet position in American history. You were the worst nomination to be put in the first Trump administration place. All of these people screaming about Matt Gaetz are problems. Matt Gaetz is a wrecking ball, and I hope he gets approved. Like I said, I don't think he will be, but for people like Bolton, which is borderline war criminal territory, to be worried about Matt Gaetz and saying that that's the worst nomination in history, y'all are fucking idiots. Y'all are idiots. Bolton needs to go retire up under a log somewhere. All he cares about is death and dismay and enforcing stupid-ass war punishments on countries and regime changes that he feels and deems necessary. He's a fucking war hawk. Oh, I forgot. This really isn't the flex that she thinks it is. Trump is not my fucking president. And you got that tatted on you? Idiot. Idiot. Stupid. You're really stupid. Okay, what is this? I think I put this in here to show exactly how people they don't hear anything. This guy says, John Babin says, "Stupid is your opinion, but you have given an exact quote of something that he actually did without media spin. I do believe it because Congress believes it, and you can watch the FBI director pretend like he doesn't know anything." Do you believe that the FBI director doesn't know anything about informants or agents at the January 6th rally? That's actually against the First Amendment. So you back up your fake news with more fake news. I think I screenshot this because I wanted to dig into the comments between John Babin and Nathaniel Brownlee. It's very fascinating how people work. So John Babin has posted a video of an actual hearing between the FBI's Director Wray and Congress, and he says, "So you back up your fake news with more fake news." We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. What else was the comment thread? I want to show the rest of the comment thread. All right. So Arthur Long comes in and says, "These people," talking to John Babin, "these people are the retards in the back of the class. That's the reason why DEI exists. Leave these communists alone and do your thing, bro. Ignorance is bliss for these comments. And then Nathaniel Brownlee responded to Arthur Long, "You're voting for a guy that pretended like he was sucking a cock on stage, but everyone else are the retards." The cognitive dissonance. So, let's just go back to what John Babin said. I'm going to pull up the video posted, and this guy came back and said, "So you back up your fake news with more fake news." Let's see how fake this news was that he's talking about is fake news. It amazes me how people think sometimes. It really does.
Who is Matthew Graves? Who is Matthew Graves?
I believe Matthew Graves, at least the person I'm thinking of is, I think, the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia.
That's the person I'm thinking of too. Are you aware that he has promised more than 1,000 more individuals will be charged or indicted related to January 6th?
I had not heard that he had said that.
Well, it seems arbitrary, and there's reports that it's kind of a quasi-quota system that he's put together for January 6 prosecutions. Do you approve of targets, goals, quotas in prosecuting alleged criminal conduct?
Well, certainly not quotas. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, goals is a little bit more of an ambiguous term, but
certainly not quotas.
Certainly not quotas.
Do you know if any of your personnel at the FBI is involved in the investigations promised that will lead to indictments by the January 6th quota established by U.S. Attorney Graves?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Okay. In June 2021, you told this committee that a small group of people at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th had, quote, all sorts of weapons. Do you remember being here for that committee hearing and testifying that way?
In general, yes.
It has been reported that more than 40 FBI personnel, agents, or contractors were in the crowd on January 6th. Is that number accurate?
I don't know if that number is accurate.
Former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund reported.
How do you not know? You're the director of the FBI on one of the largest scale operations domestically in the last 15, 20 years, and you don't know how many you don't have a rough estimate? Okay, yeah.
Reportedly has asserted that the protest crowd was filled with federal agents. Are you aware of his assertion?
I am not.
Would you agree with him that it was filled with federal agents on January 6th?
I would really have to see more closely exactly what he said and get the full context to be able to evaluate it.
How many agents were actually or human resources were present in the Capitol complex and vicinity on January 6th?
Well, again, it's going to get confusing because it depends on when we deployed and responded to the breach that occurred.
How many were under
federal agents?
Sure. Yeah, you're talking, and you and I both know what we're talking different things here. And,
exactly.
And please don't distract here because we're focusing on those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th. How many were there?
Exactly.
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
Come on, man.
I find that kind of a remarkable statement, Director. At this point, you don't know whether there were undercover federal agents, FBI agents in the crowd or in the Capitol on January 6th.
I say that because I want to be very careful. There have been a number of court filings related to some of these topics, and I want to make sure that I stick within what's in.
I understand that, but I thought I heard you say you didn't know whether there were FBI agents or informants or human sources in the Capitol or in the vicinity on January 6th. Did I misunderstand you? I thought that's what you said.
Well, I referred very specifically to undercover agents.
Yeah. And so are you acknowledging then there were undercover agents?
As I sit here right now, I do not believe there were undercover agents on scene.
Any
assets? FBI agents.
Did you have
any assets?
Present that day in the crowd?
When it comes to what you're calling assets or what we would call confidential human sources, that's a place where, again, I want to be careful, much as I said in response to an earlier question. There are court filings that I think speak to this that I'm happy to make sure we get to you, assuming they're not under seal. And that can better answer the question than I can as I sit here right now.
In the same June 2021 committee hearing, you told us that the FISA court, quote, approved FBI procedures, minimization procedures, collection and procedures, querying procedures, did not find misconduct, close quote. That's what you said. Specifically, you said the FISC found no misconduct. Yet 3 months later, the Inspector General found widespread problems in FBI's FISA applications, raising serious questions about the FBI review process of applications, including hundreds of examples of noncompliance with Woods procedures, for example. And we know that from December 2020 to November 2021, the FBI conducted 3.4 million warrantless searches of U.S. data under FISA. 3.4 million, up nearly triple the amount of the previous year. And it got worse as you were telling us there was nothing to worry about. But now your reforms have produced about reduced it down to 119,000, over 200,000 total, but 119,000 discrete Americans. That just doesn't seem like you've accomplished much there if you have 119,000 illegal searches and queries under FISA. I'll yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The House Judiciary.
Please let me.
So as you see, it wasn't fake news. What the guy was talking about in the commentary, and that's something I wanted to point out is how people on the left typically just totally outright dismiss whatever's being said to them. Even if you bring up facts, statistics, you can show and prove what you're talking about. They would just say, you know, damn what the facts are. This is what I feel. And you're saying fake news. Insane to me. Insane to me. One more. Pull this up. So as you see, the commentary is very in between. You know, it's like people are living in two separate realities. And I really don't get it. You know, the evidence is there. What else we got? Yeah. The ideology is marked.
I am genderqueer, transmasc, and queer. What's transmasc? Transmasc is like people under the non-binary umbrella identifying like or presenting masc.
Masculine?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm trans and my sexuality is unlabeled. I use he, him pronouns. Yeah, and I use he, they pronouns.
Fluid.
Can you explain what that means to me a little bit more?
Whatever turns you on.
Pronouns.
She, her, it. I feel like honestly, it should not be a bad thing. Like I've talked to people who go with they and them. I'm like, well, in the grammar of things, how would you want to represent yourself? It's like, I mean, I guess it, because it's like you're it.
What are we talking about?
Like it shouldn't be a bad name. It should just be owned.
Gay. Yes. Yes, I love.
Identify as he, she, her.
Oh.
The hell are we talking
She. I guess you could call me gay. I'm homo-flexible, really. I do like some women, but mostly men.
Flexible. This man said homo flexible. I've heard it all. Hey man, that's your show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, reach out to me. Email in the description. You guys can always send me things you want me to review if you want my take on it. Just reach out to me. I'm always available. Thanks, man. Come again. Homo flex. Insane.